get into our game in relatively quick time here, Mike.
Beautiful.
For game number 2. I'm really interested to see what Key does, because it does feel like they kind of they need to do a little bit more, right? Like we've seen this kind of
9.
draft from them before.
I know the Weaver's around here somewhere, but there is Sakuchi available, so 9's going to be just fine to back his way out of this. And 9, I believe, should also know there was an Observer Ward dropped on the high ground, but we'll wait, of course, for the Sentry Ward usage later. He'll get his own ward down on the southern cliff of that bottom lane.
30 seconds to battle.
Very preemptive ward in that area, but maybe just looking for couriers to come out. See, as a position for Weaver, it's quite easy to snipe all the couriers, as well as that, just that kind of vision ahead of time to know if the Muerta has moved into the jungle or not. So I'm still looking to try and fight over these bounties, but it's really only 9 around the area, so chances are they aren't going to fight for it. Thompson perhaps could get into a fight here with Analog, but we'll leave them alone. And it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade anyway, so a nice even start. Shall we start with the mid lane, Jonathan? Thompson, of course, on the Pango against Analog on the Kunkka is what we should probably be looking at here in this mid lane. What do you think about this matchup?
I think this is pretty straight.
Very nice.
This should be pretty straightforward for the Kunkka. Nice D ward coming out there. Good spot out from King RD. But the mid matchup, again, Kunkka doesn't have too bad of a time. I don't think it's completely unplayable for a Pangolier. You have some good trade potential with Swash and Shield Crash, but Analog should be ahead in just that Tidebringers for free. And Thompson's always going to have to walk up to try and trade. But at the least, once Shield Crash has a few levels, this should be a little bit more manageable with some damage mitigation.
9 already securing first blood here against KJ. KJ just getting absolutely destroyed here by 9 and 33. And of course, you can't really underestimate that level 1 soul assumption. It does do a hell of a lot of damage. 9 just with the follow-up, able to secure the kill here up against KJ. Looking for a D ward on the high ground at the moment. KJ just take out the Sentry Ward, so no D ward to come. However, they might find something even better, because Costabile now is in trouble. He'll go for the fear, the shot out onto the Weaver. Costabile, he's going to go for the fight back. 9, he may have gone too far, still trying to survive. Sakuchi, oh no. Unfortunate. So close to taking down the Muerta, but not quite enough.
That sentry from King RD has paid off. Like that D ward and that kill onto the Weaver. Pretty nice for them to find here for the side of Keed. You do get a little bit of a reset. You force out a lot of regen on this Muerta. Has to be force-fed tangos now from KJ. Still has another full set of tangos at the very least. But you are giving a lot of room out for the for this Visage to just farm up. So you're feeling pretty good for 33, despite the losses there from 9. He's more than happy to make that sacrifice. I'll take a look at the last lane that we haven't really talked about up top. FCR on the Primal Beast, along with King RD on that Sky, up against Skitter on that Luna, and Snaking on that Shadow Demon. There is some pretty good aggression that can come out here. Just having concussive shot into Trample is pretty big. Snaking's got to be really on point with Disruption here.
Thompson getting very, very low. Analog's got the hand up already. Torrent is available, though he is just holding on to it for now, and Thompson is going to be all right to walk away, though Analog is still looking to try and land those Tidebringer hits onto Thompson. Meanwhile, top lane, bit of a play onto the Primal Beast, but he will be okay to back his way out as chase from Snaking just wasn't quite enough. He just ran out of mana and probably wouldn't have had enough damage anyway. Meanwhile, Lions getting a little bit cheeky with the Sakuchi down at bottom lane, but just a bit of damage on Costabile. Not going to amount to much.
Not too much coming out. And with the lane slowing down a little bit, it is starting to feel maybe a little bit better for the side of Tundra. Like, you are getting a lot more out for Skitter still, despite the aggression up top. 33 still farming well enough. And the Muerta really has to watch itself. Like, it is a glass cannon, extremely so. Like, any commitment coming out can lead to a very fast kill from Tundra if you're not careful.
KJ, Tombstone down, 9, getting quite low, has Sakuchi, will go for a run, but the blood grenade Perfect aim from KJ. Able to secure the kill.
It does cost him the tombstone early, but you'll take what you can get. You need to find as much as possible considering how little farm Costabile is getting. So some punishment and movement's big. Thompson mid.
He's out of mana as well. He does not have enough for the swashbuckle, but not going to matter anyway because Analog did not have enough mana for the torrent either. They do at least find both water runes though, so Thompson might just have to make the walk back towards the fountain, and it seems like that's exactly what he'll do. Which means Analog can just continue dominating this mid lane. And that is exactly what he's done. Currently top of the CS board on the Kunkka. No real contest coming his way, and with the double braces up, the Kunkka starts to feel rather unkillable. He's already sitting at like 1.3k HP. 4.5 minutes in, by the way.
Yep, and with level 3 Tidebringer, it's really difficult for the Pangolier to trade. Only so much durability coming out with that shield crash, not enough to really sustain yourself there. So a stronger start for the mid of Keed, but the side lanes are really not faring that well. I think your sacrifices on the side lanes are maybe a little bit too costly. The Muerta, again, we talked about having to sit back and farm a ton, isn't having the best of starts for that farming, whereas Skitter is just going to be able to get going rather quick considering his CS right now and his denies not being slowed down too much by the combo with a Primal Beast in Sky. And that combo only really kicks in once you have your level 6s up, which is still a ways off in this kind of game here as well.
Analog, just that mid lane, Thompson's just taking so much damage from Analog. Every Tidebringer hit just takes out so much HP. Just look at that Thompson. What's he meant to do? He's trying to play around it, but Analog is just really abusing this as top lane. Skitter in the meantime. Skitter goes down. Great dive in from FCR, King RD and KJ. The 9 has rotated. Problem is Snaking is getting just destroyed here by the side of King RD and KJ. Though Snaking will survive. KJ getting very low, but will also be able to walk his way out as now 9 will chase down King RD, but FCR is going to show up again. Uproar out. 9 gets the kill, but the Trample's going to secure the Weaver. And Skitter cancelled his TP. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
I believe that was a misclick by the looks of it.
Yeah, that must have been. There's no way. He wasn't under any threat of dying. He could even look for a turnaround play. So that is one thing we talked about, right? We talked about flustering Tundra a little bit. That's the kind of thing. They miss some efficiency plays. You start to rack up a little bit more from these small wins, and it starts to add up for the side of Keed. If they can maintain this kind of pressure, maintain this kind of chokehold on the game, I think the big issue really is, as he pointed out, mid for Thompson. He's not able to do too much in the Pangolier this game. Does have the regen, so he's going to be able to hang around and should be able to farm up some camps because of that, but I don't see any connection to the Pango coming out anytime soon.
A nice easy pick off there for 33, just cutting off the Undying around that 7-minute mark, knowing that he was going to go for the Wisdom runes. There'll be a nice easy Wisdom rune there for 33 to pick up if he so wishes, and it seems like he will for the sake of hitting his own level 6. So we sit at 4-3, 1k advantage the way of Keed Stars, and pretty much all that net worth advantage is seemingly on the Kunkka, who's had a fantastic game. I suppose the Muerta is doing pretty well herself. Bottom lane 9 being chased down, does get hit by the dead shot. They'll go for the silence as well. 9 has a Sakuchi in 1. Will use it now, but the dust, it does actually connect. So they know where 9's gone. He'll run towards the south, but Costa BLA still with the chase, has another dead shot if he needs it. 9, Sakuchi up in 1, but it won't be enough. King RD able to take the kill on the Skywrath Mage, and the Weaver, I suppose you could make the argument, did buy some space, but I'm sure they'll be very happy with that little kill.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup. You're starting to really ramp up now in Costabile. Power treads up, going straight up for the Maelstrom. That's when the farming pace really starts to kick in for that Muerta. They've got rune control as well for the side of VKS on mid. Invis comes out onto Analog. Thompson not able to secure. Again, your big issue for Tundra is you don't really have a hero you can play on top of. Ideally, you'd want it to be the Pango, but you don't really have the best hold for Pango here, although.
Nice disruption from Snaking. Will save the Pangoliers. Thompson. He did have the Rolling Thunder, to be fair, but I believe they may have had the damage to take him out had Snaking not been around with disruption available. bottom lane, it seems like there is going to be a bit of a rotation here between Topson and Snaking as they will head right towards Costabile on the southern side of the map. Costabile sadly still has a full creep wave right behind him, giving all the vision. Meanwhile, top lane Skidder barely able to TP away. Costabile in the meantime, still in danger. The creep wave just would not leave the poor guy alone, so now he just has to die. The creep wave chased him for such a long time.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It does happen sometimes. If they have nothing else to aggro, they'll just keep that chase, give that vision. And that's a big pick-off for Tundra to find, finally putting a dent on that Muerta. Skitter's still trying to play catch-up here, does lose his tier 1 top, but you're more than happy with the trade. You're finding the core kill you'd want. You're starting to invade a little bit more of that bot jungle as well. Not able to go for the full push, though.
I mean, they could try to do something towards 33. Meanwhile, Topson mid lane in a lot of danger. Boat's going to connect, and that's going to be more than enough. That Ancient Seal setting up easily onto Topson. And a very important kill going the way of Keyed Stars as right now they just want to keep control of this Pangoli. It does feel like they're in control of this game as well, so you don't want to lose that too quickly if you can avoid it. I suppose there is a Luna free farming, but Skidder is pretty far behind, and I think the Muerta will have no problems keeping up in terms of farm.
Definitely not. Like, the Muerta can't even feel like it's an out farm if you get a couple of lucky procs with your Gunslinger and the Maelstrom once it's up. So I'm not expecting a massive lead to come out at all for Skidder. Doesn't have too many stacks built up either. If there were any stacks, they were probably cleared out as well by Topson, by necessity, considering how slow his game's gone. At least finding a bot tier 1 does open up a little bit more of the map here for 33 to just play his farm game. But you're not putting a dent on Heed. FCR just playing up top, farming, although 9 is feeling cheeky.
FCR easily able to just onslaught away, but FCR maybe getting a little bit greedy now, because you do have the Luna around if necessary for that extra damage, but I suppose Skidder doesn't have any points in Eclipse anyway, so no real point in this. Not going to join as 9 continues to mess around, but now we'll get pulverized by FCR. But he's not going to back off. No need to. Just keep chasing him down. Keep the vision up on this Primal Beast. At least for a little bit longer.
Yeah, just ensure they're dragged away from Skidder. And he's doing a good job of just ensuring Skidder has some jungle to play in, some farm to find. Very passive game coming up for Tundra. For VKS, it does feel like they need to kick up this pace once they have a little bit more going. They do have the Mystic Flare ready on King RD. So you want to really group up, maybe try to play into that Ancient Seal, Pulverized Mystic Flare combination now. Try to find some more kills before Tundra starts to really utilize the space. I think they could even just collapse onto mid with maybe just X-Mark Mystic Flare. Things could start to feel even stronger here. Although, Topson?
Playing games here in the mid lane. Topson going to look to set up here onto Analog, but the Ancient Seal does avoid the Rolling Thunder coming in from Topson, and that's going to be enough for VKS to be able to back their way out. The 9 still seems to be looking for a straggler in the Radiant jungle. In fact, Topson, he may have found one now as KJ does show up on the Undying. He'll at least get the Tombstone dropped, and that's going to be enough to force them away. The Tundra do not want to fight into that. They'll just accept the little win that they get. The 9 does get caught by an X into the turret, and with the Muerta around, it certainly doesn't take too long to just burst 9 down.
No. But again, the Weaver's trying to buy space out here. Like, 9 is just ensuring that Topson doesn't die, that 33 has space to farm, that Skidder has space to farm. Do have a full Mask of Madness up on Luna. And you can see how fast Skidder starts to catch up in net worth. Number 2 overall now. Managing to start to build up. Just needs more time, more space. But we do have to see Tundra play into the mid game, right? We talked about this from draft. You've got the Visage Luna. You do kind of want to play it quicker. You don't want to have to scale up against this Muerta. You don't want to have to try to scale into Kunkka with the potential Ags. It just starts to get really bad. And there's so much control, there's so much output on Keed that Tundra is the one that's honestly on a little bit of clock here. Whereas for Keed, even though they're slowing down a little bit in this mid game, you can have faith that the durability of both plus a Primal Beast, that the Muerta with eventual farm will carry you. You know, if you last up till 30-35 minutes, that's when this lineup really kicks in to gear for VKS.
Top lane, FCR catches him. King RD with the Mystic Flare to ensure they've got enough damage. They'll find the Weaver another time. VKS very, very happy with these little pickoffs they're finding, I'm sure. Much more even kind of game so far between these two teams, like Skitter and of course Costa Bile. Pretty close in terms of the farm game at the moment. Like, you do have a bit of a 500 gold difference in terms of Skitter having 500 gold more, but Costa Bile not too far behind. He's getting there. He's got the Maelstrom up.
Yeah. Again, the Muerta doesn't necessarily lag behind the Luna, and with the Maelstrom, it just doesn't take too long. There are a couple of stacks as well to clear out here. Costa Bile more than happy to clear that out by himself, and it shouldn't be too long. Yeah, just no contestation, no forward vision here from the side of Tundra to contest. They're just more than happy to try to play this farm game themselves as well. It's really just going to be down to the understanding of these timings, these initial timings from Tundra. We need to see them be able to try to push up against that, try to deal with the control, the team fight that VKS does have in spades this time around. We shall see. There's still... They've got the full diffuse on Thompson, so that's one start. At very least, you've got the inhibit, you've got some damage coming through, some mana burn to prevent a little bit of that spell spam. It's just, I don't see an opportunity for the side of Tundra to actually play just yet. And they don't really have forward vision, it's mainly defensive. So,
Online.
need Art of One being efficient here.
Oh, dust out. Do you want to go for the onslaught? It doesn't seem like it. They don't want to risk not having that escape route. The FCR. So they will avoid, as now the smoke is incoming. Tundra, they've run through the river up towards top lane. Snaking in Thompson. They know the Primal Beast is around here somewhere. Onslaught is out, but Thompson, he's got the Diffusal Blade now to just inhibit him up. FCR, he will die first. It's a great start, but now the turnaround is here from VKS, though Thompson, he won't cop the torrent. Still, Analog will drag him back, but the Rolling Thunder is out. They've got the Kunk controlled up now, and this is a real problem for the side of Key Stars. They are still trying to fight this one out. The boat will come in, but Analog, he's so darn low, he'll drag them back again. But is it gonna matter? It doesn't seem like it. Everyone is just getting destroyed here on the side of VKS. They will at least get 9 on the Weaver, but it's nothing.
Yeah, really doesn't account for much. Like, 9's been such a good sacrificial pawn so far, providing these openings for the side of Tundra. And again, good understanding from Tundra. Finally take that fight with the Eclipse. They've got some output pretty far away from waves. They've got Roche control now as well. And I'll just go for the Roshan. And why not? They've got the output, slowly but surely. They know there's no contestation here that can come out from Keed. So they'll have a secondary life ready to go here. Curious to see whether or not they hand us over to someone else other than Skitter, but does look like they might actually just have to give it to that Luna, which honestly isn't too bad, especially if Skitter does get caught out. Provides ample time for the respawns here, and they will take it. So no contest again from Keed. Keed, for their part, again, you keep mentioning this. We keep mentioning this farm on the Muerta. Feels like it's going to take some time for that to kind of kick in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty tough affair right now for Keed and Skitter. You can see the frustration right now on the faces here of Keed. Things just are not going the way they intended here in this game too, and it must be so frustrating to have to play a game like this where you're not finding the answers you wanted. Now the net worth going the way of Tundra. Things going extremely well. Skitter has topped the net worth board with an Aegis up. Well, this is where things can get rather ugly if you are Keed, as the chase is on now. Thompson having a look for the Undying, not able to find him. King RD, he had a rod of Atos up now, so it's locking him down. Meanwhile, Skitter, he'll just casually push in the tier 1 mid tower on his own. There's no contest here. He will just take it for free. Meanwhile, top lane, Analog is just getting chased down by 33 on his own, but Costa Bile is going to show up and take care of it. 33 almost had the solo kill on his own, but Costa Bile was there to save the day.
Yeah, he managed to kill off the familiars as well. So some good gold being injected
Thompson?
the way. Oh,
Oh, speaking of Costabile, this could be a little bit awkward. He'll run around in circles for now. Thompson, unable to land the secondary stun and needs to leave the area, but the Rod of Atos is now out there. The Mystic Flare, not really doing enough damage, but it won't matter because Thompson, he gets caught by the onslaught of FCR. Will go down. So the aggression not really paying off from Tundra. They'll lose 2 core heroes for the price of nothing.
yeah, maybe a little bit optimistic to follow through from 33 there for Thompson. It is buying some much needed space for Skitter. Again, managing to build up on that. Luna now, it's still stacks coming through here. You still have 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes roundabout, less than 3 minutes on the Aegis for Skitter. So he has a lot to play with. And again, it's all about this mid-game timing. What items you can kind of finish up by 25 to 30 here for the side of Tundra. Trying to put a dent in that same progression here from Keen, although Widow's kills, Costabile has caught up. BKB not too far off now. And once that BKB timing's up for the Muerta, that's where things start to get a little bit crazy. Maybe not in terms of damage output, but certainly in terms of trying to find that burst window onto this hero. It can feel a lot tougher if you can't hold her down with her ult up.
Bottom tier 2 tower now going to be targeted here by Tundra. It's Skidder. He's at that stage where he can just do it on his own if he wants to. Just needs a creep wave. Seems like Keed are not too interested in trying to force a fight and defend that tier 2 tower yet. Though you do have FCR around the corner, but he's the only one around that area right now, and it seems like he is going to onslaught back towards the fountain anyway. So Tundra, they'll find themselves a bottom tier 2 tower for free.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Still plenty of time available on the Aegis, about 1 minute and 40 seconds, so they could still try for the mid tier 2 tower while they're at it. Like, the mid tier 2's got barely any HP available.
Yeah, wouldn't fault them for doing that on the side of Tundra.
Radiant's middle tower
Just try to, again, choke out the map from VKS. Like, because that's what they need. They need a lot of map space. They need a lot of ways of building up. We'll find...
Whoopsie daisies. That was
the Tormentor.
that was not on purpose. He does at least get the shard, so that's happy news for KJ. Problem is now Tundra going high ground. Whoopsie daisies.
Yeah. Again, this is what we're talking about, right? You're running Luna Visage. You just want to push. You want to take objectives. They are slowly sieging with the damage output. 50 plus 29 damage on a familiar.
Yeah, makes sense.
That is pretty funny. You know, it reminds me of, who was it? It was Execration that really liked this, plus a Marcy.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit excessive. And, you know, well, Execration's not here at the road to the International. The road
Certainly not.
was cut off, like so. Tundra makes it.
FCR. Gonna hang around there with the analog. And of course, King RD on the high ground of that Radiant jungle, but they are really just trying to stay away from Tundra right now, I think. The FCR is looking mid lane and they will spot Skidder. Skidder's got 15 more seconds on the Aegis, so perhaps now you could force a smoke as VKS. Maybe try and take advantage of the fact that the Aegis is expiring. Problem is, they're about to replace that Aegis with a double damage room. So there's that.
Yeah. And they spotted out now with Thompson. He will just pick it up himself, so not willing to hand that over, which is fine. I think it almost feels unnecessary for Skitter to even have it, considering how fast this push is going. Already applying pressure onto that last tier 2. You can just living up to the potential of this draft and playing fast in terms of this mid game. Smoke out from VKS though.
33 are going to lose his familiars. That's one way to start the fight. Problem is, Tundra, they're still looking to move in. They'll see Costa BLA, but he does have a fresh BKB up. Could be a pretty risky attempt to try and jump the Muerta. Tundra, they will not bother. Thing is, all outer towers are now down, so it's only high ground left here for Tundra. VKS, they're not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination, but it does feel like Costa BLA does need quite a bit more time to be at the stage where the Muerta just feels unkillable. And things just continue to get worse. So Tundra now, they've got an Aghanim Scepter on top.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to run through the damage output of this Pangolier at this point. Thompson's just going to be able to constantly apply damage, constantly burn down mana, which is something that will really hurt, especially the spell spam that you're wanting to pull off here on the side of VKS in the middle of these team fights. Inside of Tundra, they're also inching towards the butterfly. For Skitter, it does have a full satanic, so he can survive the onslaught a little bit better.
FCR.
Just kind of stand up. Oh.
Nice onslaught away. Let's avoid the gank that was incoming from Tundra. Line still being drawn out towards the top lane. But now VKS are waiting around the area. They'll just hold the high ground of the dire jungle, and Tundra, they'll just back towards the bottom lane. They still control most of the map. That's just kind of the thing. So no matter what happens, they're the ones acquiring much more farm as time goes on, and they're about to force them back towards the bottom lane, I think, because Skitter is not backing off.
No, certainly not. No reason to back off right now for the side of Tundra. I think every single lane is just pretty much worked out, maybe with the exception of Thompson's lane. Probably the hardest one. Again, a steady push up top.
Oh, they got an X on Snaking. They might be able to at least find a Shadow Demon for their trouble, and they will. Snaking is down. 9 looking to just back his way out. Meanwhile, Thompson going for a Rolling Thunder on Costabile, forcing a BKB in the backside. Costabile, he's almost down. Costabile might just go down to Thompson. As Thompson, he's still going into the tier 4 towers. They'll go for the grab ally onto the tombstone to try and give Costabile a way out of this, and he will barely make it. Thompson now the one in danger, falling very low, will go down. VKS. Oh, they tried everything to save that Muerta, and they barely get away with it. However, high ground, is it still on the menu? Apparently not. Tundra, they will back their way out.
I appreciate that. Just playing it smart here on Tundra. Respecting maybe the ability for them to hold here on Keed. They could just wait for next Roche. And it is respawning now. So they can try to go into that area, but the pit is relatively warded here from the side of Keed, so you'd want to clear that out first. I think for Tundra, though, having this 4K lead up once more for them is pretty massive, right? And again, for the side of Keed, their mid-game spikes are nice. They kind of plug too. You start to wait for Costabile to have more than enough farm to kind of play. And that, again, it's just going to take a lot of patience here. You have to cut your losses on Keed. If Tundra decides to play around like that, just do what Tundra did in game 1. You know, you see a commitment out, disengage, go back farming, get that build up, and once you're ready, that's when you fully commit.
We're going to have a 4-man smoke out here from Keed. 9 is around the top lanes. That could be a target for them to go for. 9 might actually break the smokes here, as King RD will lose his and so will KJ. They'll pop the dust and the sentry ward just to ensure they find him, and that they will. I believe they wanted to try and go for Skitter to be absolutely fair, but now they have a Roshan to play for. Now, Tundra, I don't think they're going to make this easy. They are still going to stick around, even without the Weaver. They do not want to give this away for free. Rolling Thunder has been popped and they'll make the jump in. The Muerta already caught by Costabile. He'll get the BKB in time. Meanwhile, 33 is already down. And Tundra, they are being forced to leave the area, I think, as Thompson. He'll also get caught in the Pango. FCR, he's around to take him down. Costabile, the one to claim the kill. And now Roshan is almost certainly just theirs.
That's such a massive set of kills coming out there for VKS. And just finding this punishment when Tundra decides to come in. Like, they're sure Tundra was ahead. They're not ahead by too significant of a margin. We talk about this with the Luna as well. But here it does feel like he needs quite a fair bit of gold to be on top. And if we're without it, it just doesn't feel like you even want to take these fights right now. 16-8, less than 1k lead remaining for Tundra. And the side of VKS, well, we're starting to hit critical mass now, right? Like, you've got the level 19 Muerta, level 3 ultimate for Costabile. He's got the full Mjolnir out. And this is when the damage output starts to get crazy. Sure, it's not quite machine gun Muerta just yet, but again, you don't have anything to save you from this outside of Disruption. You don't have BKBs up just yet. you're relying on this one player. You're relying so much on snaking to ensure that you're not in dangerous hands, but it's a lot harder than you'd expect for his positioning in this game.
Oh, again.
Again. Unbind it, man. Come on.
There's going to be a tournament one day where it's straight up, if you do that, you're just going to give up the game. Like, you just fall.
I think our number 2 would do that. That's why he's number 2.
Bottom. Costabile. Looking to move in. Tundra are around the area. Costabile, he's running in by himself right now. Maybe not realizing he was surrounded, but he'll still go for the bit of a man fight here with the ulti. Trying to chase down 33 on the Visage. 33, he's a tanky boy. Snaking's going to save him with disruption for now, as 33 is still running somehow, some way, but they'll finally take down the Visage. It's on to the Luna now. Skinner, he might just be forced to fight. He's got nowhere to go but down. And he is gone. This VKS, they are fighting back. Trying to hand Tundra their first loss of the road to TI. They're one step closer. A 2K advantage now their way. And I'll tell you what, this Muerta is starting to feel very scary.
That it is. It's a little bit of a shame that Costabile didn't have or didn't get the shard bonuses from those kills. I think you want every single advantage, but Tundra are having issues in even just pinning heroes down. Like, they're so dependent on either the familiar stun or a really good roll from Thompson to really find these openings, and it's such disjointed fights. Again, we talked about what VKS had to do. They're making Tundra look like a flustered team. They're making them look lost. VKS is the one with all the initiation, and they're the ones dictating how these fights are going, where these fights break out. And it feels like the response coming out from Tundra this time has been lackluster. Like, all they can do now is just try to split push, force a response out in the other lanes. But the side of Keed, they're getting everything they want. Heck, we're even seeing something like the Ags build up for King RD. So the double spellcast is going to be big. 9.
Could be in a spotted. He's all right. Still Costabile. I mean, he's having a look around through that bottom lane now as well for a straggler. Not able to find one. Go head into the mid. Go after that tier 2 tower. Skitter will TP over. It seems like they want to go for a bit of a fight, and they are going to try for this one. Skitter, he's going to make the move in on the front lines, see if he can go onto that primal beast. They will be able to back off successfully. His analog will try with the tidal wave to drag him back, but does miss.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They are still kind of staring each other down, but instead now VKS going to move down towards the bottom, where 9 will be hanging around with the Sakuchi. FCR, he does get the pulverize onto the Weaver, and with the torrent, there is no time for 9 to be able to use that time lapse.
Radiant
It's just so well disciplined coming out from VKS when they do find these opportunities. The chain stuns coming out, pinning down the side of Tundra. We talked about all the saves on Tundra's end. It's not like you can always hang around where the action's breaking out. 9 understands his role perfect here, having to sacrifice, but it's such a big sacrifice. Like, you're not getting too much back in terms of efficiency now. And the high ground opens up. You can just front line here with FCR, and there's not too much you can do to stop this right now.
Tier 3 tower down to that bottom lane. Gonna go down very, very quickly as FCR puts the hand up, waving him goodbye. Still top lane is being pushed in by 33 and Skitter, and this is classic Tundra for you. They are not going to give anything away for free. There must be some kind of value that they get out of this, as 33 is going to get hit by the boat of Analog. Analog making it very hard for 33 to get away as they force all the TPs over, and 33, he might just be dying. Meanwhile, Snaking also going down, rolling Thunder out, but Costabile gets the BKB in time, and now with the ulti, he's going to go right for the man fight against Skitter. Skitter barely able to survive with his own BKB. Costabile now the one that's a sitting duck, and he does go down.
Oh.
All right,
God.
maybe we don't have such a one-sided game on our hands as Keed getting split up for that team fight. They give quite a bit back the way of Tundra.
I'm surprised they take these fights so split up. It's, again, maybe not respecting that turnaround position from Tundra, maybe not expecting that many heroes to just suddenly show up there. But the punishment is swift from Tundra's end. And maybe not enough for the side of Tundra either to kind of start considering the high ground. Probably just waiting for something like waiting for way more on Skitter. But again, you can kind of play safe push with the disruption, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Just slow sieging up while the Muertes is down. Although,
Oh, jump in. They found the Weaver. 9 just gets destroyed. Can they get Skitter? He's the big target. Skitter gonna go for a run. We'll turn around now onto FCR. Torrent is not gonna land, but they'll land the boat, and now the Torrent Storm will come in. Skitter, he's a sitting duck. Skitter is down. Thompson, he's the next one on the chopping block right now, though he'll go for a Rolling Thunder to try and get away, but the chase is on. He'll try for the TP, but the knockback is there. Thompson, he will be able to get out, but 33 will not. 33 is down. And that's 3 down for Tundra now. As I mean, the side of VKS, they are fighting back.
that they are. They're holding on. They've got the network lead. Yeah, and it feels like Tundra is maybe a little bit flustered. They managed to find what to shove in at least the top range racks, but nothing else beyond that. Roshan, we'll see in about a minute how long that respawn timer is. I'm trying to wonder now what the side of Tundra can get to repair this game. And make it a little bit easier for themselves. It does feel like you'd want more output on your Luna. Doesn't feel like you've got enough damage flying through in terms of the right clicks just yet. And then after that, you're probably going to be looking for the Ags refresh on Luna. Then again, as it scales into late game, that combination does get stronger and stronger. So we shall see.
Hands up again. Wave at 9 and snaking. The Skitter does have buyback, but he's obviously going to hold down. Respawn timer only 5 seconds away. Thompson's not around the area. Thompson's actually pushing out the bot wave, but he does have a TP ready to go whenever. Just waiting for his team to set up for the fight if necessary. Seems like for now, they're going to allow the tier 3 tower to go down. BKS, they'll go for the racks as well while they're at it. They are a little bit afraid by the looks of it. Costa BLA will drop the calling. Here comes Thompson. FCR, he's a tanky boy, not really taking too much damage, as now 9 was focusing. The pulverize out. Thompson, oh, they've lost the Pango. He does have buyback though, so he will come back in for the fight. But VKS, they will back off immediately. In fact, they're looking to move back in perhaps. They are still all very healthy. They'll wait for the creep wave, and it's back up to the high ground they go. But Thompson, he's got the Rolling Thunder. They've found Costa BLA. Can they burst him down? Yes, they can. 33 holding him down, the Familiars. Just a perma-stun. And there was no save for it. It's FCR. FCR's gone a boot. What is happening?
Boy. They get a bit too keen for the high ground. No, they could have just went for a safer objective like the Roshan. Does spawn back up, but they overstep their bounds. They don't respect the output. And Tundra now can, well, this is where it's scary. The high ground of Tundra is almost, if not faster, just as fast as VSK. And get started with Skitter, forcing the buyback from Muerta. Mind you, you don't want to lose Skitter here, but a really good man to dodge at very least in the pullback.
Absolutely. There goes your tier 3 mid tower. Tundra moving down to the bottom lane now. Skitter wants a bit extra value before he does leave. And I say leave, there are still 2 heroes down without buyback, so he's not going anywhere quite yet. Just being very cautious. The Skitter will pump his BKB just to ensure he can get this bottom lane of barracks. And that'll be worth it for him to just back his way out. A snaking now, moving back in with the disruption onto Costa BLA. Though Costa BLA is trying to back his way out, but he's been slowed up by the Purge. And now the chase is looking to be on. Costa BLA forced the BKB up to get out of this. They're snaking a very cheeky play, forcing the BKB usage, which means Tundra, they can keep going for the mid-racks now.
Yeah.
And that's what I call value, John.
Way too much value. Again, they're just baiting VKS in and out. And they're not able to find a good chance to commit. All of a sudden, they're down 1.5 racks. They managed to find snaking at very least, but that is a pretty big kill. With the save gone, if they get caught off guard now, VKS can't open up these fights more, and they still have a Roshan to fall back into after taking some of these kills, unless Tundra immediately rush that area. And the pinks are coming out. So they recognize Roche is going to be the objective. With how scattered VKS they can just go for it themselves, although FCR is still keeping an eye out.
He certainly is. I mean, this is a guy with 5k HP on this Primal Beast. He's not afraid to scout out on front line for his team. Even more moving in now. And it seems like they're going to be the ones to start the Roshan. While that's happened, though, you did have an Ags out on 33, so he's got the Silent as a Grave. Side Device now available as well on Analog, so the Kunkka offers even more utility for his team. Thing is, though, you might not be able to use that utility very much because, well, the waves are being pushed in again, John. Tundra are doing Tundra things.
That they are. Just ensuring that every single step outside is not going to be a freebie coming out here for VKS. And Tundra, they even out the game. 16-14, less than 1k lead coming out for Tundra. But if you look at the graph, it was towards VKS for a very long time after bouncing up. Now, pretty much dead 50-50. 52% advantage coming out for VKS. Not a massive amount. And Tundra is certainly still in that game here, despite not having the Aegis. They've got to play it smart, though. If they can somehow catch out Costabile, get these 2 deaths in a row, the game opens up. No buyback on the Smurta for a little bit longer. VKS has to play the smart. Don't force the issue. You know, that's the whole reason why we're in this conundrum. They forced that issue onto the high ground, and it did not go that smoothly. They've got the full heart up on Thompson now here for Tundra. Much more durable in the front line at the very least here.
Oh, another smoke rotation. VK, oh, they could find Skidder. If they headed south, they may have found the Luna, but they will go back up towards the mid lane.
Radiant are scanning.
They're trying to find some kind of straggler here because Tundra are just pushing all the side lanes out. Skidder and 33 revealing themselves down at the bottom lane, but it looks like they're ready to just leave the area. So they are getting rather close now. VKS might be able to get there in time to find Tundra. 33 will leave. Skidder going to try for the TP play out. And oh no, it's not enough. They get him completely blind, and now Skidder, with the detection, they've got him.
Oh boy.
That's some game sense right there. They knew.
Yeah, it's a big one. You know, where the Age is still standing for a decent amount of time on Costabile, they could try to make something happen, maybe try to force out a buyback if they're threatened onto the high ground, but all the waves shoved the way they are, it's a little bit too far out for VKS to immediately find something for the trouble. A smoke movement out from 9 and snaking. Not going to be really landing onto anyone, just going to be walking around the map, maybe try to get some vision going. You do have some nice item timings left here for Tundra, Mike. You've got the full Ags for snaking ready to go. Just kind of want to hold on to the buyback for now, but double charge of the Demonic Cleanse and Purge is going to be big. Like, that is one more save on hand that does make itself apparent here once you do manage to get to that point. Still, they are solely focusing on just shoving mid with these exposed racks.
On the Visage 33, trying to be a little bit cheeky here up against King RD and might just have him, and will with the Soul Assumption. Here comes FCR. King RD's going to buy back for this. Meanwhile, Knight's going straight for the racks again as Analog's going to join in now on the Kunkka. Meanwhile, mid lane, looks like they do find a mid-racks in the Dire base as they do lose 9 in the Radiant bases. Now 33's going to try and get his way out with the TP, but no, it is not enough. Complete chaos. They will defend their base on the Radiant side, and now TP's coming right back in to the mid lane. The FCR's TP did get cancelled thanks to Thompson on the creep wave. 9, he's back in the Radiant base, but it could be a dieback incoming for the Weaver. Can he find a way out? He'll try with the Gleipnir. The rush is on. FCR and Analog both chasing. Now the X out 9, he does get caught. And he will go down. A dieback is the mid lane. The Luna still fighting. Skidder gonna go on to KJ. Here comes Costabile though. And that'll force the Luna away. Thompson, not out of danger yet. We'll go for the roll-up and try to avoid Costabile completely, but it's not looking too good for him. Here comes Snaking to save the day, though, with the disruption. And we'll give Thompson another chance at life. Look at Skidder. Skidder is rushing for the Radiant base. Meanwhile, Snaking does die.
Oh my
Skidder,
God.
he's on a mission. He wants that Brax. He wants the Megas, and he's going to get it. Off you go, Skidder.
Goodness.
Well done.
Oh,
Analog, he's got the X out. They want the punish, they've got the side device, and they've got the kill. Problem is, Skidder does have buyback.
yeah, they can hold back. The mega creeps are maybe not as big of an issue as you'd expect it to be for VKS at this point in the game. They do have decent enough clear, but it does give a bit of an advantage to Tundra for sure. Just keeping these lanes shoved out is going to feel a lot easier. It's going to be down to another Roshan here, Mike, as I think has been the trend since forever. But we are going to be waiting for that next Rosh before getting more commitment on the board. Mind you, VKS are going for the smoke play. So an opportunistic kill could open up that endgame scenario for them anyway, considering that they only have the tier 4s to worry about. They don't really care about the side lanes. We'll see if that's something Tundra reads as, well, they drag back, snaking a little bit early.
Here we go, tier 4 tower is going to be under siege. They want that buyback out of the Luna. Nice drag back on snaking will mean the Shadow Demon is down for 90 seconds without buyback, and now the side device out has caught the Weaver. 9, he's got no buyback either. Both supports are down. VKS, they have a chance at pulling off the game victory against Tundra. Thompson, he's going to try to move in. The Tombstone will save King RD, but not for long. Thompson, he'll do it his damn self. He's got no team, but he's still getting the job done. Torrent will land, though. They've got the side device. They've got the Pangolier. He should be going down, and Thompson is finally dead. But the mid-wave is being controlled by 33, who will not allow them to push his base.
Yeah, again, just heads-up plays coming out from Tundra. They are making sacrifices, but they are hanging on. Like, it takes too long to try to repair up against mega creeps. It takes so much time to try to clear out. And that is, again, time for Tundra to kind of sit back and try to figure out a game plan here. VKS, they've done a fantastic job. And they've managed to bounce back in.
Costa Bile.
Oh,
He wants Divine Ray. He's had enough. Straight Divine Rapier for Costa Bile.
yeah. You can't fault him, really. Like, he's not even dying anymore in most of these fights, so might as well go for the damage output. Try to end this game as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, you say that, but 33's top lane. He's going to split push that wave. He'll go mid lane and split push that wave. Like, you know, it never ends. The Analog has caught the Visage, to be fair. Problem is it's only Analog. Meanwhile, mid lane, Costa Bile might set up a team fight. 33 is still going at it with Analog. In goes the high ground for VKS, though 9 has gotten the fight started. Gleipnir out to lock them down. Costa Bile, he'll pop the ulti. Keep in mind, he's got a Divine, so his damage is extremely high on the Muerta. But do they have a chance to go for these tier 4 towers? He can refresh, pierce the veil. It's no problem. FCR, they'll start to move in. The tier 4's under siege. 9 will move in now with the Gleipnir. Costa Bile in the meantime. He'll pop his BKB and take down 9. That's the Weaver gone. Meanwhile, 33 pushing in the Radiant base, forcing Analog to stay around that area. We have somewhat of a pace race right now between these two teams, though it's a very, very slow one as 33's been caught out bottom lane, or rather top. 33, he'll cop the boat, he'll cop the pulverize. He's still not dying though. Finally, they'll catch him, but no, he'll go into the stone gaze. 33, just die. My goodness. This guy's just a menace.
That he is. That stone form, right in the nick of time, buying time out, ensuring that they can't fully commit onto those tier 4s. Stalling the game. That is Tundra's game plan now. That is all they can really do. They can keep playing around with shoving out these waves, of course, with the Luna illusions. So you always have that at the very least to try to repair. But VKS, it looks like they're getting ready for that commitment once again, for that full Divine up. They just want this done, man.
Here we go again. Problem is you do have the buyback on the Visage. So there we go. 33, he'll commit the buyback. He's ready for the fight, but it seems like VKS, they're okay to back off seeing the buyback was committed. That'll do them for now. They still have some scaling to go on their carry as well. Like Costa Bile, he just wants the Moonshard now. Wants that absolute attack speed. Analog's just kind of stuck in his own base, just split pushing the side lanes because he knows he can't leave without Tundra just split pushing their base. So he has to stay around, and basically VKS have to go for a high ground attempt, 4v5 without their mid conker. Pretty rough.
And it is.
Are scanning.
At the very least, the Roshan is up. Tundra does have control in the area, so they'll be able to take this one there. Wait for your refresh shard on hand. Movement is coming in from VKS, but it does feel like it's a little bit too slow. See if they manage to try to breach into anything, but Roche is down.
They're
with
still
the
around.
broadcast.
They're still looking to go for the fight, I think. You're kind of in that situation for VKS where any fight is a good fight right now, and Skidder will be able to TP out. Like, any chance you have where all the creep waves are pushed out, you just need to go. You know, Aegis or not, you've just got to take the fight. Sadly, they will not have that opportunity. Tundra, well, they'll continue. It's playing a slower game, understanding the advantage they currently hold.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah. Like, they can't really do too
Oh,
much
Skidder.
outside.
Skidder does get caught. They've got the Luna, but can they burst him down? Skidder, he's getting low, and Skidder's gone.
Oh my god.
He has buyback. It's okay. He does have the buyback available. Aegis was on Thompson as well, so you still have that secondary life up.
That you do. It's just, it gets trickier to see that opening come out. You know, it just, VKS have all these ways to initiate, and Tundra only really have roll.
They've got a gem on KJ. You've got to be a little bit wary as the Visage. They will be able to spot you, though, Thompson. He'll make the jump in. He's found the Undying, and he's found Costabile. That's the big target. Costabile, though, he's in the Tombstone. He's going to be okay to reset. He'll pop the Pierce the Veil. He'll refresh the BKB. He'll go for the fight. It's absolute chaos at the top lane, but nobody's down yet. There goes 9. That's 1 down. But is there any more to come? Thompson, he just keeps going. He really wants King RD, but King RD is gone. He is safely out of there. This Thompson's the one to drop. He'll lose his Aegis. Meanwhile, Skidder looks like he's about to go down, but the disruption will save for now, but not for long. Skidder is down.
No buyback.
No buyback available for the Luna. FCR,
That's
he's
it.
found a 4th. They've found a 3rd. And it seems like they're going high ground for the Jugular. They just want the Ancient down. Put a finish to this game. There's no way to defend just with Thompson, surely. Though I say that Thompson, he's trying. Scythe of Vice, he's trying to get the creep waves out. Analog, dropping a little bit low, but now they've got the control. Thompson will go down. That's a dieback, and that should be it. Though the creep waves are going to the base, but it won't matter.
Dire's top barracks are
Yeah, they've got access through top. They're going to be able to just chase this down. Respawns are going to be way too slow. And VKS, they get it done. We talked about what they had to do up against a team like